Speaking of the Guardians, we know the bullpen was the team's biggest strength in
Mike, before we get into the old bullpen, let's just talk about Chase Lauder for a second.
Okay, perfect. I was
because yesterday Chase Lauder was scratched from the lineup. You know, yesterday I was talking about how excited I am that that Stephen Kwan played center field.
How'd he do?
You know, I didn't watch I don't think the game was on yesterday.
Oh. Do they? Yeah, does this come on like Guardians TV? It's on. They move everything to MLB.
Hey, hold on, Tide. No offense. Where they are right now doesn't matter because the Lauder got hurt, and that's actually a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
It's preliminarily an injury.
They scratched him from the lineup as a precaution. He had a lower body soreness or whatever, and this is what part of the reason why they're moving Kwan to center field, because the Lauder is unfortunately he's been very injury prone early in his career. He's played the equivalent of one season over 3 minor league seasons. You're more likely to stay healthy playing a corner outfield spot. I mean, it may get to the point where they have to eventually make the Lauder a DH.
Yeah.
You know, now it won't happen this year. But,
it might.
Well, yeah, that's true. But after signing Rhys Hoskins, it's not ideal. But you might have to eventually. But, you know, ideally you don't want a young player to be a DH.
Right.
And it's not like he's a bad fielder. It's just he has a hard time staying healthy. So hopefully this is just something minor and he's okay. But with his history, it's a fair concern.
Anytime he's scratched for any reason.
Yeah, it's a concern.
You start with the worst case scenario and work back because the Guardians haven't exactly been forthcoming with
that's correct
injuries over the years.
Yes, they've been really bad about it.
Yeah, so you just have to hold your breath and hope for the best. But I mean, I don't. Did I see somewhere where he was supposed to have a scheduled day off today anyway? I thought I saw that.
I did not see that, but it doesn't mean it's not true.
I thought I saw that somewhere, but I don't remember now where it's. But I mean, by next week, if he's still not playing, we got problems.
Right. Oh,
this has always been with him. That's why I don't know how you can count on as much as I would. I mean, ideally, their best outfield is Lauder in left, Kwan in center, and Valera in right. That's for what they have to work with.
Yes.
That's the best case scenario. But George is in the same spot as Lauder in terms of injuries.
Right.
How you can count on either of those guys to play even 140 games.
Right.
How can you expect them to stay healthy?
Well, and that's why you sign a veteran, and that's why another veteran I've been mentioning recently, too, you can make fun of me again, Tommy Pham, why I would sign him, too.
What has been, like, Lauder's injuries?
Everything. It's been years. It hasn't been like
the one
chronic.
But it's come from him being in the outfield.
I don't know because they were all minor leagues, so we don't track it as closely. I don't know how he got hurt. Like it wasn't like running into a wall or anything. I don't think.
I'm not sure how he got hurt.
But he's had it's a bunch of different.
It's just one thing after the next.
That man better do some soft tissue exercises. That's ridiculous.
I mean, his ability to find the barrel is I don't think anybody thought, but for the signability and for
be a mega strength, just a strength, or a potential weakness for the Guardians.
It won't be a weakness. It'll be a strength, maybe a mega strength, but probably just a strength. I like their bullpen. I think Sean Armstrong was a good addition. I think Connor Brogdon, who didn't have a particularly good year last year, but had success before that, is a good cheap addition too. Tim Herron and Eric Sabrowski. Andrew Walters is not on that list. I expect him to be a big part of the bullpen. So we know what Gaddis is. We know he's a good setup guy. I think Cade Smith's going to be fantastic as a closer going into the season with the job. I bet he'll be at worst a top 10 closer and maybe a top 5 closer in the league this year. I like Sabrowski. There's some question marks there, but I think overall, Jason, I think the bullpen will be a strength.
Yeah, and those are the names we're talking about now, but there's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 guys that come up throughout the course of the year that we aren't even talking about now that will help. The Guardians' bullpen rarely is ever a weakness. The one thing that this organization does at an elite level is pitch, both starting rotation and relievers. So, no, I don't have any concerns. Are they going to be the best bullpen in baseball? I don't know.
No, but it'll be good. They'll be closer to the top than the bottom, certainly.
Relievers are so volatile year to year that it's hard
you never
to say.
know.
It's somebody's going to.
And then, what's his name, who they got from Arizona? Ciccone. as a fourth starter.
fine.
Like him.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's a guy who will have a couple starts where he looks amazing, a couple starts where he looks terrible.
But
it doesn't matter.
But you have to have a long-term view.
That was a all-time bad
of-
take by Jay.
And with the rotation, I think you could say it's a really big year for Tanner Bybee. He's got the contract already, so how big a year could it be?
Right. But I think he's going to I think it's going to all come together for him.
I think he really, just in looking at some of the data, I think he was really messing with some pitches last year.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have a great fastball, but some of his secondary stuff is really, really good. And if he tweaks his pitch mix a little bit this year, I think he could have a really good year. I've always been high on Bybee.
Yeah.
Are you
I
willing
love
to
their
put him
pitching,
back
but
in
the
Cy
tricky
Young
thing is
conversation, Jason?
what's that?
Huh?
Are you willing to put him back in the Cy Young conversation?
Not yet. We got to see more.
Will we ever see Tristan McKenzie in the majors?
Tristan was throwing 94.
Yeah, but he gave up 4 runs.
Did
So,
he? But the
can I
velo
pull
was
the curtain
back.
back for you guys real quick?
Yeah.
I saw the tweet that said his first 2 fastballs in a Padres spring training game were 98 and 98.
Yeah.
And I was like, topic, did the Guardians give up on Tristan McKenzie too early? I was going to put it in today's show. Then when I went to go make a stat graphic for Tristan McKenzie, I saw he did not make it out of the first inning.
Yeah, right. He got
4 runs.
smoked after that.
Yeah, got destroyed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Was he 90? I didn't think it was 98. Was it 98?
Yeah, I have the tweet.
He
hold
really
on,
fell off
hold
like
on
that.
one second.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
The thing with the Guardians
It is,
though,
yes.
heading into the season, I don't see where they're better than the Tigers.
No.
I mean, they're probably better top to bottom in the bullpen, but not by much. They signed a veteran closer, right?
Is it a Jansen?
His first 2 fastballs, sorry, I found the tweet. 97.6 and 98.7.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think they signed Jansen.
I think they signed
Who's
Jansen.
old, but he's still
He's
decent.
effective.
Yeah. And that's one thing they were kind of missing. And the signing of Framber Valdez.
I mean, you can say what you want.
Where's,
Gavin and Tanner are great. They're not.
But they're not
Framber
better
and-
than.
What's the pitcher? Ben.
Lively.
Yes.
They re-signed him, but he's hurt. I mean, he's going to miss, I think, the whole season or most of it.
How's my boy Matthew Boyd doing?
He's pitching for the.
What are you looking at me for?
You told me that.
He had a great year for the
He
Cubs
had
last
he
year.
had a great year. He had a
He's
great
pitching
year.
for.
He was not a good pitcher before that.
He was
had
not.
a great year.
He was pitching for. He's pitching for Team USA in the WBC.
Really? Is he still with the Cubs?
Yes.
Good for him.
He signed a 2-year deal last year.
Okay.
I think they'll probably let him go after this year, but well, you never know.
The Tigers have to be the favorite to win the division.
Definitely.
Guardians would be second.
Then
Twins,
the Royals. No,
yeah.
Twins are last. Well,
I'm
I got
just-
the White
I
Sox.
was going- I was
Yeah,
going-
yeah. I got the White Sox ahead of the Twins this year because the White Sox actually tried to get better this offseason.
They traded their best player, their best hitter, who always get hurt all the time.
Luis
Robert.
Luis Robert.
Bang.
Yeah, but they signed this guy out of Japan who's a really good player, Murakami. What do you mean?
He's got quite a bit of swing and miss in there.
We'll see. Most of the Japanese players who have come over have done well.
March 26th.
I'm excited. I'm excited for baseball.
I can't wait.
March 26th. Well, 25th is the night. I think.
Yeah,
the
it's the night
Giants
game.
is playing.
Yeah, there's a Wednesday night game to start the
Yeah.
season.
Who they? I don't even know. Who
I don't know.
Are they doing the Japan thing again?
Not this year.
Okay.
All right, I said we're going to get 8 topics in. We're going to get 8 topics in, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to spend 2 minutes real quick before we get to Supers, recapping the Cavaliers' loss to the Bucks last night. Jason, I know you were driving back. Didn't get a chance
And
to
without
watch
their
it.
3 best players in the game.
We're without James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley. Jared Allen continued his dominant month of February.
Did you think that final bucket was on time?
No, you can clearly see the
was
replay
clearly-
where it was still in his hand.
I was not watching, to be totally honest, at that point.
No, it was about a 0.2 seconds too late. It was late.
Yeah,
but, the Cavs did fall to the Bucks. They were shorthanded. Allen had another monster game. Schroeder had 26 points and 5 assists. Ellis hit 5 threes off the bench to provide them a little offense. They gave up 19 threes to the Bucks, which means if you take out the Knicks game, you look at the 2 games they played against OKC and against Milwaukee, they allowed 43-point makes to teams that don't make a ton of threes. They have to protect the three-point line better. They did a good job against the Knicks. They only let the Knicks make 10 threes, but 50 over 3 games is way too high of a number. Shorthanded was a good effort.
Well, so were the Bucks. I mean, they didn't have their best player either.
Everyone but Giannis, I get that. But
Yeah.
you're missing 3, and you find out Harden's not playing at the last minute. Little different than them knowing they're going into a game without Giannis. Ty, what was your big takeaway about how the Cavs fought hard, but unfortunately came up just short.
I mean, I just like the fact that the role players made it a game. You know, it was we leaned so heavily on James Harden and Donovan Mitchell and Evan at times. It's nice to see those other guys